Okay, so today I'm updating upgrading a Dell Optiplex 760 computer that was originally manufactured in 2009, I believe, and still has a Intel Core 2 Duo CPU. It should run Windows 10 just fine, but we'll find out. And on top of Windows 10, I'm also installing 8 gigabytes of DDR2 RAM, a 120 gigabyte solid state drive, Toshiba, a 160 gigabyte Seagate hard drive, and a 1 gigabyte low profile gigabyte equivalent of a NVIDIA GeForce 210. I'll have VGA, HDMI, and DVI options and some better graphics performance. So just a regular update like what I put in a lot of machines, but we'll see what kind of performance we get out of the 760. So I'll change the camera angle and get this set up. Okay, so let's open this up and take a look inside. So first what I think I will install is the RAM. So I'll get a closer look. Here you can see all the RAM slots on the motherboard. And we'll start with installing all 8 gigabytes. Okay, I just wanted to quickly point out that we're installing some Kingston brand DDR2 RAM. That's pretty much all I wanted to see. We'll see what the speed is once we get into BIOS. It might be 667 megahertz or 800, maybe more, who knows. But we'll find out. So that we have 8 gigabytes installed now. We'll go ahead with we'll install the hard drive first. So for that, we have our little hard drive caddy right over here. So you can just pull these two blue tabs together, pull it out. Trouble talking today. And it should be easy enough to slip in. There we go. Plug in our two SATA connections. And actually, we'll leave this one loose. No, we'll plug it in. Looks like we need to grab one more SATA cable for the solid state drive, which we will install, I think, just right beside the power supply, right over here. And one of those empty spots underneath the optical drive. Okay, so I've got a black SATA cable that I picked up off eBay for probably less than $4, maybe just a couple dollars. So I think we'll plug this into SATA 2 right here on the motherboard, which you can't see, but very easy to find. And if you're really at a loss, just match up the end of the SATA cable. You'll figure it out pretty quick once you have the case open. Okay, so we'll get to it with our solid state drive. Excellent. Simple as that. And we do have the option for a third hard drive. So if you ever wanted to install that, that'd be pretty easy. And maybe we will. Got a spare older Western Digital 80 gigabyte hard drive. Maybe we'll just install that just for fun. Just so we can have some kind of satisfaction of running 3 hard drives. And that's one of the benefits to setting up an older machine or a larger desktop like this. You can have multiple storage devices. Okay, need another SATA cable. Luckily I have a lot of these. And again, if you're wondering where to buy these, like I said, eBay is a good choice. Try any supplier like Newegg. eBay might be the cheapest option, apart from something like AliExpress or some kind of gray area store online. Alright, so one thing I don't have, which you can see here, I might not include this in the final project with this setup, but for this video I'll just leave it. I don't have a 90-degree SATA cable, so this one will be hanging loose a little bit, or it'll be a little bit tight to put that lid back on. So if you do want to set up a tower like this, I would probably recommend searching out some 90-degree SATA cables. Alright, so now we can install the graphics card. And I already have the larger bracket installed. Usually a smaller card like this will come with small form factor brackets where you can separate the VGA from the HDMI and DVI and include it into a smaller case. But here we will clearly just need the larger bracket. So with this 760, there should be a little blue tab that you can find just beyond here. Accidentally took a picture. And you just press down on the tab and that'll pop off, and we can just pull out the applicable bracket right there. Alright, so you can just barely see from this angle, but right here there's a black PCI Express slot right there. And that's exactly where we're going to put this card. If for some reason you haven't done this before, it's pretty easy to find what will fit into what. You just line up the slot that looks like this. It should have a little blue tab on it to release it afterwards if you want. Okay, it's just a simple matter of lining up, gently pushing it in, and we are good to go. It's installed. Cool. So we're ready to boot this into BIOS. Okay, before we move on, I'll just quickly show from a different angle where I put everything. So we have our solid state drive installed right here, connected to the SATA power connection coming right from the power supply. Our 8 gigabytes of RAM right here. Our graphics card is right here. As you can see, the little black slot that I was talking about. And our 160 gigabyte hard drive and our 80 gigabyte hard drive. So let's boot to BIOS and see if it all shows up. Okay, so here is our very first boot. Perfect. Alright, so we'll go down to System Setup. And let's see, system board, we have 2468 gigabytes at 667 megahertz. This particular Intel Core 2 dual CPU is clocked in at 2.80 gigahertz. A little bit slower than I was expecting, but that's okay. So clearly the display is working fine. The graphics card should be okay. And let's go into drives real quick here. Okay, let's make sure SATA 2 and SATA 3 are all initialized. Let's hit apply. And otherwise we're looking pretty good to go. So I think what I'll do now is start the process of installing Windows, and we'll go through my usual steps, such as clearing the hard drives and command prompt. In just one moment. Alright, now just in case you're curious, we'll hit the power button and we'll keep hitting F12 to select our different boot options. And once you see this menu, we can go ahead and select the USB device because we'll be booting Windows from a black USB. Okay, so we're successfully at the Windows install screen. So hit next, install now. Everything's looking pretty good to go. Alright, so once again, if you've seen any of my videos, we'll go through the process of cleaning off the hard drives through command prompt. So we want to go to custom, install Windows only. And once we're at this screen, go over to the keyboard and hold down Shift and press F10. Now that we're in command prompt, you can type in Diskpart, D-I-S-K-P-A-R-T, hit enter. And now we're into disk partitions. We'll type list disk. We'll start with disk 0 and work our way up to disk 2. Disk 3 is our USB drive, so we don't want to touch that. You just have to type select disk 0. We'll type clean. And that is our 160 gigabyte hard drive. Next up is our SSD. Select disk 1 and clean. That was fast. And select disk 2. Looks like our 80 gigabyte hard drive. Clean. Oh, again, very fast. I must have done this already. So while all done, we'll type exit and exit again and go back and refresh. Alright, so we'll have our SSD selected and we'll go ahead with the install of Windows 10 Pro 64-bit. Okay, as you can see here, we have Windows loaded up, and so far it's looking pretty good. It's probably still searching for the right drivers for the video card, but that's pretty normal. So what I like to do is hit the Windows key and type update. And I like to check for updates and just run anything that I'm missing. Let Windows take care of it. I know some people are particular about this process, but generally I find I have little problems. And if I do, it just takes a little bit of troubleshooting. But anyway, here we have Windows running pretty well. So after we're done with the updates, I'll download Steam and we'll get to testing out some games, video streaming, and just general use. And we'll see what this thing is made of in 2020. Alright, so before I install Steam, I'd just like to show how I like to set up the extra hard drives in any system that I put together. So once we have Windows all loaded, one way to initialize the hard drives is to hit the Windows key and type in partition and you should see an option that says create and format hard disk partitions. We'll hit enter. And we might get hit with, yep. So you want to go ahead and click OK to initialize disk. It's a little bit bright on this camera. I just have to put up with the lines on the screen right now. So for our 160 gigabyte hard drive that we have right here, and there's our 80 gigabyte down here, we'll initialize the 160 gigabyte first by right-clicking, clicking New Simple Volume, Next, and Next. We'll use D drive, Next, and Next. We'll perform a quick format and initialize the disk. There we go, it's all ready to go. And we'll go down to the 80 gigabyte hard drive and do the exact same thing. Alright, so we'll close this, click on File Manager, and just verify that everything's showing up. And we have new volume D and F. It's perfect. And now also what I like to do is set everything to save up to one of the storage drives, because the solid state drive is mainly running the operating system, and maybe some programs that I want to run a little faster than usual. So I want to select, I usually go with downloads, documents, pictures, music, videos, all the popular folders on any desktop, and I want to set them to save to the storage drive. So I'll go over here to the menu, right click downloads, click on properties, location, and move, and we'll go ahead and select the new volume D, new folder. Type in downloads, and then select folder, apply, yes, and we have downloads set up to be saved to our storage drive. So I'll do the same thing for documents, pictures, music. Also what I like to do is hit the Windows key and type in default, go down to default save locations, and we'll select the D drive for all of this as well. And click apply. And of course, this is just how I set it up. If you want to do something, or you do something different, that's totally cool too. So we'll get to installing Steam and testing out a few games here. Alright, so now we have Steam installed, and I downloaded Left 4 Dead 2 and King Rabbit. King Rabbit's a fairly light-duty game, but it'll be a good showcase of what kind of games you can have a fun experience with, I think. Oops. Cool. So a game like this will run really well. Alright, so now we have Left 4 Dead 2. we'll just start the single player campaign real quick here. Yeah, this is running at the regular settings. Frame rate's okay, frames per second seems alright.
Okay, helicopters don't come back when you yell at them.
Seems pretty responsive to me.
Good enough for me. Grab a weapon, let's go.
Alright. I'm only ever testing this game. I really need to spend more time playing it so I can remember what all the buttons do.
We need to find the stairs.
Oh, and I'm down. Oh, I'm back up.
That doesn't sound right.
Alright. It seems like you play a game like this just fine. Alright, so now we'll just test a couple of video streaming sites like YouTube and Netflix.
So obviously you do love your cars. And now, of course,
Because it is a very difficult thing and slow road.
living it very tight on the runway. That's a new interesting line. Second to last corner, that is particularly handball down, gamble, no drama.
Welcome back to the late show, everybody!
Cool. Looks pretty nice. Now we'll try Netflix.
Very close friend, like uncle.
Okay, load times are super fast. Streaming quality is really good. This could definitely be used for a really nice light gaming, streaming, storage computer. It's got lots of different uses here. 11-year-old computer, but it's still all good. Okay, the one thing I didn't try is word processing, but I'm fairly certain that would be just fine. So I think I'll cut this video short here, and this gives you a good idea if you have any questions about how this setup works or what to do or what will work with any spare parts you might have laying around. So leave a question below in the comments and I'll very likely get back to you because this channel is still pretty small. And as always, I hope you learned something and I hope you have a nice day. Thanks for watching.